And chat. How's it going, guys? Welcome back to Pyre. Sports ball indeed, Blue-Eyed Rat. Sports indeed. Last time we made it to the quote-unquote final trial. Discovered that we have to send people back one at a time. And we're going to be facing more and more battles. So this is going to be an interesting experience to see who gets sent back first as my party dwindles. Liberation Right, that's what it's called. So let's get back to it. Oh, right, it was Jodariel I sent back. I was wondering why I had Headwind when I thought I had sent him back. You find Headwind on his own after Jodariel's liberation. You sense straight away what is on his mind. The two of them were close through much of his life. He looks up at you, but his familiar smile is nowhere to be found. Excuse me. I'm sorry, my friend. I should be in a much, much better mood right now. It's just... I can't believe she's gone. Then he shakes his head. Listen to me. I'm talking like she's... He falls silent again. You can tell he needs some time to himself right now, and turn to leave. Wait, hold on. Don't leave me here just yet. First of all, my friend, thank you. I don't like to think of it in quite these terms, but out of all of us, I really hoped she'd manage to get out of here. She's been here the longest. Not to mention, I'd probably be dead 10 times over by now, if not for her. What's more, maybe other than Volfred himself, I have a feeling she's really going to make an impact on this plan of ours, back on the other side. The plan's current probability of success, 27%. Just the same, though, I am going to miss her. You and Headwind share some memories of Jodariel for a time, though it grows clear to you that he needs some time alone. Thanks again, my friend. I hope that one day all of us can meet again. Jody, she'd be happy on that day, I bet. It is very late now. You part ways after bidding each other a good evening. I don't think she'd be happy to meet the Harpy again. They never got on. Ask what is on her mind. This place, where you currently reside, it must be Mount Elodiel, is it not? This was where those blasted scribes decided what to do with me. I had already failed in my mission to eliminate the demon Solium Mur. I did not anticipate his retinue, you see. They took me and some of my Beyonders alive, although do not expect to see account of that in their good book. Whether it was for mercy or for spite, I never became certain. They probably presumed that my expulsion for eternity would eventually have taught me some respect for them. But no, not yet. Not yet. Well, I do not mean that, really. The scribes did spare my life, and were it not for that, I would never have been thusly trapped to then enjoy your company, O lovely reader. Now, having met my quota of blaspheming for the time, I think it best that we resume the normal sort of business between us, if there is any to speak of. And good hunting at the precipice. May you soon rid the downside of some useless idiot. Anything else to inspect in here? Oh, Jodariel's robes are up there. still. Huh. Alright. We got 6 people left. Alright, who are we gonna use? Blustery quickness for Pamitha. I think we'll use Pamitha. Hedwig's ready to be liberated, as is Ruki, as is Ray. Tizo will be ready once I use him again. Gilman is not ready, and Pamitha is not ready. Okay. Alright, let's continue. Good morning, my boy. The place I noted earlier. Let me illuminate the way. Moonlight Alcove. Await the next cycle of the rites here. Volfred leads all of you into a calm and quiet clearing, tucked away inside one of the mountain's hidden folds. All about, you see a variety of strange items and equipment. Don't think it's actually tied to a specific threshold, it's just whatever your highest leveled 3 are. Ah. Everyone in this game deserves hugs, yeah. Except for maybe Volfred. He's a bit weird. Bide your time. Nope. More stuff to do. You find Volfred, seemingly lost in thought, but then he turns to you. Greetings, reader. This wagon and I, we've many memories together, and I could not help reliving some of them just now. I suppose some aspects of my past may be of relevance to you, given your role. If there is something that you wish to know, you need but ask. As we did to earn his seconds, ask why the Nightwings disbanded. Ask how he knows the Lone Minstrel. I don't know if I can ask all of these. I am going to ask why the Nightwings disbanded. You expressed interest in knowing more of how the Nightwings came to be here and Volfred's past connection to the group. I have been connected to the Nightwings almost since the beginning of my days in exile. They found me, in a manner, as I understand, quite like how Hedwin and the others found you. Back then, it was a smaller group than we have now. I joined an exile called Erisa, former exile of the Nightwings who conducted the rites alongside Volfred and Orlek, and another known as Orlek. Once in a while, we let little Tizo stand with us as well. He is rather older than he looks. The other triumvirates we stood against, they feared us. Only the Tempers presented any threat to us in any given rite. But there was a terrible accident. Erisa, we lost her. And Orlek, he was my friend, he fell from Mount Elodium. We lost him as well, on the night when he was to be free. We were reckless, hasty, and I was powerless to stop any of it. I blamed the rites themselves, the circumstances that put us into danger. The downside has claimed many lives, yet this, it was too much. I vowed never again to don the mask and raiments. I had the black wagon cleared and buried, such that it could not be used again. If the Nightwings would rise again, it would be under different circumstances, under new leadership, and towards a different purpose. That is all I wish to say of this, my boy. Oh, I do get to ask everything. Ask what he did to earn his sentence. You ask Wolfred about his past in the Commonwealth, and how it is he came to be in the downside. How rather forward of you, my boy. Most whom I have met during my travels here have been reluctant to approach the subject of one's history before one's exile. Nonetheless, I am happy to tell you. As a reader, I assume you are familiar with the stamping press. The legal invention allowing written materials to be published at an extraordinary rate. In 617 AS, the Commonwealth is under siege from within as anti-theocratic propaganda quickly spread. I owned and operated one. God, a society that arrests people for knowing how to read and for printing books is just hellish. I took issue with the Commonwealth, the ban on literacy, the interminable wars against the high-wing remnants. I spread the truth about it all with my machine. Under pseudonym, of course. Still, I knew I was putting myself at risk, and sure enough, my stamping press was eventually discovered and burned to the ground. I, however, managed to elude capture for a while. But not for long enough. Here in the downside, I chanced upon the Nightwings, who were searching for a reader. In that respect, my past, I think, is similar to yours. Anyway, that is the long and the short of it. Now then, was there anything else? Ask how he knows the Lone Minstrel. You ask Wolfred about his history with the Lone Minstrel, whom he seems to know quite well. Tariq was there with the Nightwings when they took me on. His manner has always been much as how you've seen. Although he is somewhat more cheerful now than I recall back then, if you can believe that. I think our plan has sparked a little fire in him. He serves the Rights and the Nightwings. I have tried to ask him of his past before, but he seems rather reluctant to speak of it. I'll bet he's one of the scribes. Though it is plain that he's not from around here. This being the downside, I respect his wishes for some privacy. Nonetheless, although I do not know too much of him, I count him as a friend. I lost track of him for some time, though it was he who first informed me that the Nightwings had returned. He and Tizo were instrumental in our meeting. It's been good to see him doing relatively well. Anyway, was there anything else you wish to talk about for now? Nope, I'm out of questions. Ask to be excused. You thank Wolfred for his time and bid him a good rest of the afternoon. Likewise to you, reader. Be well. Okay, nothing new with Sandra. Alright, bide your time. Everyone, the amenities are modest here at Moonlight Alcove, but I suggest that you get comfortable. We may be here for some time. Small landing on the dark side of the Sacred Mountain. For many years, Wolfred smuggled supplies and furnishings to this well-hidden locale. As for myself, I have some business to attend to. Please leave the wagon in my care for now. It shall be ready by when you need it next. Gonna upgrade it. From the mountaintop, you can see all across the downside, its impossible expanse staring back at you. The thought occurs to you that you may never see another land besides it. And so, you and your companions wait upon the mountaintop in quiet solitude, anticipating when the cycle of the rites begins to turn again. Then you shall have another opportunity to free one of your own. Is it gonna be years? You may earn back their freedom one by one. Many moons pass. Then, one evening. May I have a moment, reader? The Lone Minstrel finds you poring over the Book of Rites, as has been your leaning through your stay at this abode. Begging your pardon, but there is something you may wish to see. Please, follow me. You follow him into the cold night. Look forth, reader, sir. The stars shine like you have never seen. Once more, the path towards salvation is revealed, but now, something is different. Seek now your destination! Is that a black hole? Haub. Jomur. Milithe. Each prior time you searched the stars, they showed to you a single path, but now several rites avail themselves to you at once. Henceforth you may choose from several different rites. Choose your path towards salvation. We're not permitted to conduct the next rite here. Okay, let's see. The Pyre Hearts at Haub. Or Udmildi at Jomur. Lendl Oh, it shows my record against them. Huh. Alright. Well, let's deal with the Pyre Hearts. The stars urge that we go to the cairn of Haub, a long way off. Wolfred, sir, how are we to reach the cairn of Haub in due course of time? You know full well, Tariq. Preparations are complete. Do we get to fly now? You think you see the lone minstrel smile, ever faintly, but cannot be sure. Please ask the others to gather their belongings, rest, and then assemble at the wagon there at dawn. We shall be departing at that time. As you will, sir. The cycle begins anew. As the years advanced, you'll find there ought to be fewer rites this time, until once more we are to traverse Scribe's Gate. Oh, so I only fight one of the set each time? Huh. Exactly how many, it is difficult to say, or one of each set that's revealed to me. But our next chance at liberty ought to present itself much sooner than before, so let's be ready for it. Now then, see you in the morning, reader. Your companions have not traveled far from Moonlight Alcove. Word of the news soon spreads throughout the group. Continue your journey. Next morning, Wolfred calls everyone together before the black wagon. This old wagon is more than it appears. Yes, we turned it into a boat. We know. With Bertrude's aid, it escorted you across the sea, to me. Now it shall escort us anywhere the stars require. Come and see. Wolfred beckons you to join him in the wagon. Step inside. Something has changed about the wagon's interior. What looked before to be old cracks and signs of age now expose various intricate components once hidden from view. You are the Nightwings. You should travel in their customary way. He turns to you, indicating levers and devices marked with symbols from the book. Now, reader, whenever you're ready, you may take us up. I'll show you how. And everyone else, hang on to something. Take off. After having soared into the sky, the black wagon remains aloft somehow. Never thought I'd soar like this again. By the Underking! Hey, now we're talking! The Nightwings sail the skies again, wheresoever the stars may call for them. There is one catch. The downside provides few locales suitable for landing. Though we should be able to find at least a couple landing places near to where we're going. We'll then make way by land or sea toward our destination. Now, without further ado, let us proceed. Seek landing near the Cairn of Haub. Cairn of Haub. Sail now the skies. R2 to boost. Okay. Man, we had a long journey. Can I land there? As you soar above the waters of Worm Gulf, you notice Sir Gilman sidle up to you, very slowly. Oh, that's another airship? There are more airships? We are very, 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 very high above the waters, if this knight is not mistaken. This knight's brethren lurk beneath the surface there, in numbers untold. Fortunately, if we were to come crashing to the surface now, then this knight, why, he would receive a watery burial in the custom of his kind. Oh, so there's stuff to see on the way. Let's go back up and see all the locations where we can get dialogue. If there are any. Aha! Something about the strange island you see below draws your attention. Best to avert your gaze from the Isle of Kaelmer. Significance to the 8 scribes. Even the scribes themselves thought to avoid the place. Let us fly on. Can we land there later? That would be cool. Aha! Below, amid the desolation of flagging hands, you see Big Bertrude's, from which you first embarked by sea. You wonder how its venerable proprietor is faring. I am certain that Big Bertrude must have left a strong impression on you all. She is not easy to forget. I've known her since before my exile, or hers. She's been here a long time. I've sent my agents to repay her for assisting you, and to send her our regards. The old wagon must have been in need of some repairs. It's hard to look around. The forbidding cairn of Haub lies below. Not many exiles see fit to cross beyond it. Some fear that the listless remains of Shaq's 6 shoulders shall snatch them up if they attempt to cross. The Bone Titan, slain by the scribe Haub the Swallow. Others simply do not want to pass through to flagging hands. Few know its true significance as we do, although your adversaries the Pyre Hearts should be on their way there now. Soon you shall confront them once again. Okay. He seems very interested in visiting the mud baths along this route. He expressed an interest in seeing how the wild curs in the vicinity are doing. Let's see what the mud baths are like. You touch down in the heart of Jomur Valley, where first you faced the Fate and the Dissidents. You briefly wonder where they might be now and how they fare. You join your companions for a routine inspection of the wagon, following its flight. Ray confirms the wagon's wheels withstood the shifting temperature and still appear to be in reasonable shape. Pamitha managed to calm some of the drive imps prone to dizziness or frenzy at high altitudes. Other than that, everything checks out, and the rest of the crew got through the flight without complaint. You now have a little time before having to set forth by land. The Beyonder Crystal seeks Ray! Alright, we've got some stuff to do in here. Were the old raiments sparkly? No. Grease stone. Keepsake for Mount Elodial. Exhibits a flagrant disregard for natural law, thus providing light entertainment. Canvas wings. What is this? Singing sands. The so-called singing is the sound of countless screeching wheel mites. The wisps inside provides a scarce bit of light when it is needed, all for a low monthly fee. Alright, let's talk to Gilman first. Sir Gilman is shivering there after the Black Wagon's maiden voyage through the skies. Master Reader, this knight is very slightly out of sorts, is all. He merely appears terrified, but he assures you that his seeming cowardice is but an optical illusion in this case. Pamitha overhears and joins you. Flying's not for everyone, Sir Knight. This knight heartily concurs, though how anyone at all can stand it he has yet to understand. Well, let's see. What's it like to swim the waters of the Sea Dominion? Ooh, that's a good way to relate it. Ah, those glorious murky waters! Engulfed in hideous warfare, to be sure, but otherwise a joy to cut across, to feel the coolness of the waves beneath one's gill slits and the like. Though this knight is now accustomed to his life above the surface. Flying is just the same, Sir Knight. It resists those of us not born to it. I, in turn, have wondered what your seas are like, but the thought of swimming fills me with disgust. Though I haven't had to swim, and you now have to fly. That's very brave of you, and you handled it better than some harp fledglings I've met in my day. Well, that's nice of you. You'll get used to it. She departs, but you sense Sir Gilman is feeling better after the exchange. Sir Gilman gained +1 hope for the next rite. Wish him well. There for them. Trophy earned. I wonder what that is. Just a bunch of conversations? A conversation with everybody, maybe? Because I don't think I'd done a conversation with Gilman yet. Alright, Book of Rites. Living in exile, in the words of Jomur Menimane, the Alpha Chief. Once I, too, roamed free. I remember well those days in which I was called Chief. I traveled all the world over on my 4 good paws, and I was well adored. I wanted to grow stronger. Here, at last, I have. I shall not mince my words. This place shall either harden you or kill you. It shall haunt you with old memories. You share the exile's plight. My charge is to alleviate the sting of it for you a little bit, and to prolong your stay, but only for as long as needed. Your charge is to return. We call this place the Downside for a reason. But in time, here you can learn to eat, to seek out shelter, and to find a certain beauty in unlikely places. Is there any more of the history of Solium Mur that I haven't read? Alright, so book 2 is what's new. Book 3, Forsaken Lands. In the words of Molten Milite, the Wild Witch, years upon long years we spent distilling life essence from many things, which all once writhed under the auspices of their mortality, which we ourselves cut short. In this we have no regrets, for we learned much, and so, we think, did they. We earned the title Witch, and were forced to flee into the downside. Here we encountered Solium Mur, and soon we gained an understanding of each other. He bade us circumnavigate these lands and catalogue our findings. We felt a strong desire to expose the secrets of this land. He wished to yield benefit to those who followed in our wake. Indulge us both, then. Jomur Valley. The downside prairie first appears serene. It is not. The soil there accommodates only the region's brutish native vines and overbrush. The most likely food sources prove poisonous. Thus we journeyed further north. The climate there grew fouler to my senses, though the cur Jomur found it amenable. This sprawling valley, pocked with long evaporated lakes, gives evidence to the monstrosities which roamed this land. Hey! We found the region's... Hey, Mad Leroy Mad, thank you for the follow. The game's fun. Cool lore, fun gameplay, cool aesthetic. It's definitely not my favorite Supergiant game, but it's very, very good. And that's not a low bar to fail. Hades and Transistor were really, really good. We found the region's western edge to be more pleasant on the whole. Therein we found sources of fresh water, whereas over to the east we found the edge of the land's most hideous decay. Mount Elodiel. Gaining? Is that a G? Something the summit of the sacred Mount Elodiel involved no small amount of sacrifice and sorcery in varying proportion. The mountain's energies were palpable, the sensation that we felt indescribable. The lands we stood upon were closer to the stars than to the world we knew. It was upon this highest point in all the downside that we first made efforts to concoct this tome, which you now read. It was there that we were stricken with a vision of the cycle of the rites, and felt, together, for the first, a sense of freedom unlike any we experienced before. But that is a subject which our comrades shall illuminate in greater detail. Alright, that's what we got for Book 3. Celestial Landmarks. In the words of Luce Sclorian Hundredminds, the scholar, do you feel a kinship with the stars? You owe your everything to them. Perhaps, one day, even your freedom. I chased the stars across the river of my genealogy until they led me here. I demanded they explain to me the paradox of knowledge. For how is it that something can be shared, but still contained within ourselves in its entirety? The stars did not respond, but set me on a quest. I sought the 9 landmarks, which they revealed to me, so that someday I would reveal their mysteries to you. These landmarks, emissaries of the stars, are 9 lenses through which we see the land and see ourselves in a new light. The Book of Rites. Much can be said about the Sisters of the Arch, whom we banished to the great beyond for deeds irredeemable. Suffice it that the details of their banishment are written in this book. The sisters and the book became inseparable, not unlike the stars, their light, and the infinite darkness that engulfs them. The stars communicate to us, and you in turn. The words within this book are but an edifice, a simple surface. Look past the text to the hidden meaning, to the hidden power. The stars above, as they are not mere lights, these are not mere words. If you chance upon the Sisters of the Arch within their prison here, give them our thanks. All right, and Book 7, 9 Triumvirates. In the words of Haub the Swallow, the accursed. At first I found it much too difficult to read, much less to write, even to grasp the quill. But the Horned One, Muir, implored me. He said this is the greatest gift that he could give me in return. In return for what? I asked. In return for his life, he said. But I did not save your life, I said. You did, he said. We fight about this still. Muir is stubborn, more than I. Now, herein, and by his leave, I chronicle the 9 triumvirates, for I am of this land, unlike the rest who wish to leave. We knew not everyone could leave who wanted. Seldom would the opportunity arise. Thus did we organize those striving for the chance into 9 sets of 3. The Beyonders. To call the Beyonders a triumvirate is to stain the others' efforts, yet I am beholden to describe them here. A pack of bandits, loosely organized under the Sisters of the Arch, they traveled all this way into my land to take the Horned One's life, to kill my friend Muir. Oh, cool. Well, thanks for the follow, man, Leroy. Have a nice day. Thanks for stopping by. We thwarted them. We had them at our mercy. Mercy had become imperative to Muir. Oh, you're Mad Leroy from, speedrun.com. Oh, cool. It took me a moment to recognize you, sorry. We spared their lives, but banished them to darkness, far beyond these lands. Now and forever, the Beyonders cling to a beholden duty to confront the true triumvirates, whenever they so choose, so that, whenever the true triumvirates clash, it shall be to their fullest extent. Alright, that's all I have there. On Commonwealth. In the words of Triesta Tithys, the Blessed Born, we, the 8, assembled here together in the downside, and we gave our freedom so that you may yet have yours. It is an exchange we have not lightly made. It is my charge to ensure that should you regain your freedom, first off recognize its qualities, and also use it wisely. You do not need a pair of wings in order to be free. My own wings, I once thought that they could take me anywhere, and then they took me here, where I am bound. It is your charge to be free, and not to make the same mistakes. Spring from here, and learn from what we did, and build a new and great society, a free society, with wings spread wide for everyone. Alright, that's all the new pages. So now we have a trial for Ray. Ask what is on her mind. My best friend in all the world, come to visit me again. Does it make you uncomfortable, perhaps, that I should call you thus? Perhaps you think that you do not yet know me very well, but I know you just fine. You reveal a great deal to me when you come visit me like this. You are not the only one who can sense things in others, you know. She laughs to herself. One learns to read a bit when forced to suddenly appear within a book for 837 years or so. Especially if one is wont to pry a little, you understand, for it gets rather boring here. I know all about you, a crippled scholar who vowed to help his friends be free again, only to end up spending all his time talking to an apparition stuck in a stone. Oh, I know about your loves, or lack thereof, about your favorite pastimes, certain habits you may be somewhat loath to admit. Fear not, of course. I use this special knowledge only as a means to entertain myself, I think. And if you don't like it, why, just keep your distance, like so many of your predecessors. As for the other Beyonders, they are as wraiths to me, as I must seem to all those idiots with whom you consort. I cannot confide as easily in my own kind as I am able to confide in you. But I suppose that I have said too much. Thank you, as ever, for the visit. You have given me a lot to think about, more than you know. She laughs again, softly. Request of her a scribe trial. I shall gladly oblige my reader. Who is to be the lucky one this time? Summon Ray. Trials for Ray. I must admit, I do sense something from that one. I once had a wild heart myself, quite like her own. We shall see if there is more to her than that. Let us bring her forth. Soon Ray arrives in heed of the summons. The scribes! I think that if I listen carefully, that I can hear them calling out to me. It ain't the scribes, Ray. Alright, time to remember how to play the game. The apparition Sandra appears and unfastens her mask. Listen well, girl. The place where you reside at present has but a single rule, which is, you answer to me here. Wow. Okay, I will. Such naive enthusiasm. Now, be silent. It is plain to me that you have much to learn as yet about the rites, but you have learned something, and I would see you prove it, without the benefit of anyone, save for your reader. Okay. Are you out there to help me with this, mister? Sure am, kid. Bunnies? Shit. Oh, these are imps, aren't they? Yeah, pick it up. Got it. Oh, he exploded himself. Oh, damn it. How'd you zip that fast? Oh, I'm getting my ass beat. Oh, we exploded each other. God damn it. Got in. Awesome. Alright, I need to do that 2 more times. Oh, we exploded each other. Damn it. God damn it. Oh, I'm getting my ass beat. Holy shit, this is hard. Why does it have such a big aura? Oh, come on. I was so close. They're so fast. I'm gonna lose. Holy shit. Okay. Moment of truth. I need to do that one more time. Oh, I was too... Alright. Match point. I lose! Holy shit, that's my first loss. Sorry, I just thought I could do better. As expected, the moon-touched girl is not fully competent. Was deemed impaired by Commonwealth standards are very different in a negative sense. I would tell you not to waste my time, girl, but the truth is that my time is there for you to waste. to inform me when reality catches up with your expectations. Yes, we can do better. Alright, played that smart. 2 to go. Oh, we exploded each other. Damn it. Passed it to me so that I would... God damn it. Well, that was stupid of them. I got lucky there. They were morons. I was out of stamina. Got it. Okay, how did I do? How did I do? I must admit that you did better than I had expected, girl. You have passed this trial of yours on the second try. That was an embarrassing loss. I'm not good with Ray. Some congratulations are in order. To you and also to your lovely reader. Now, farewell. Did I imagine all of that, mister? Because I hope I didn't. Wow, what is that you have there? Kalmer's anklet. Oh, right, aura cast. After Ray casts her aura, it can bounce off of objects and solid surfaces. Ooh, okay. Let's give her Kalmer's anklet. Forgot I had a gun, yeah. I guess we'll give the lucrative contract to Tizo. Alright, let's explore Shunt. No one seems very much inclined to explore the blistering environs here, except for Ray, who is more upbeat even than usual. A sacred bath in mud cleanses the mind. At least, I think it does. But come look! Come look! She draws you by the hand toward one of the muddy pits and jumps right in, laughing. At first, you are put off, and yet her joy is infectious. Soon you are in better spirits, as is she. You return together to the wagon, where you find yourself with time and motivation to pursue your vocations. Ray gained +2 hope. Alright, vocations. Study in private. Okay, one more presence, and then I'll have 2 more times to do glory. Awesome. Cairn of Haub. Ooh, pages. Awesome. What is this? Xylobones. Would that we all could become musical instruments ere our bones turn to dust. Alright, Ray. Ray seems to be talking to the Black Wagon's walls again. Though, this time, something seems to have come over her. Little brother, what is wrong with me? What is wrong with me? What is wrong with me? You are unsure whether to check in with her or leave her be. I'm going to get her attention. Though Ray is clearly capable of surviving on her own, you do worry for her, and in this case make an attempt to reach out to her. Oh, hi, mister. I don't think I saw you there just now. And so my little brother here and I, we were just talking for a little while. Well, I was the one doing the talking. Why, my little brother, he is just a wagon wall, so he cannot respond. He can't respond, but he can listen, and he listens really well. Now, I'd like to get back to my conversation here with him, if you don't mind. And you're welcome to stay, though, if you like. It seems Ray is doing all right after all. I'll keep listening. She did invite you to stay. You decide to take Ray up on her invitation, and keep listening to her conversation with the wagon wall. Her little brother, as she calls it. Anyway, what was I saying? Oh, I remember. It's that they always said that there was something wrong with me, but they wouldn't really tell me what. They said that I was moon-touched, but so what? So then the scribes, they called me here. They're the ones who brought me here, not those people. They were so cruel. They were always so cruel. I didn't have a little brother at the time. No one that I recall, really, although so much of it back then. I can't tell how much of it I dreamt. Most of it, if I didn't want it to be true. But I remember that they threw me out. They decided they would throw me out, and let the scribes take care of me, they said. The scribes, they would take care of me. It was so very quiet here, and I was all alone. Again. Although I think I liked it more. Being alone down here than being alone back there. Well, you do seem happier here than back in the Commonwealth, but you'll have friends when we send you back eventually. Everybody's alone down here, and so it makes me feel less alone somehow. Back there, why, I would sometimes see families, brothers, sisters, mothers, fathers, but here, there was hardly anyone at all. But I knew that I was closer to the scribes. I knew that they were in the sky above, and I did search for them up there, you know? And then, one night, I found them. I saw the stars, and they were falling to the ground, and I thought, why is it the scribes themselves are crying? Are they sad, and maybe, are they sad for me? Well, that was when I first saw you, little brother. With your help, I would get closer to the scribes. That way, maybe they could answer all my questions, don't you think? But I'm so very glad I found you and the others. I'm finally not alone. I'm finally not alone. And, more importantly, I think, sometimes I even feel that way, that I'm not alone. Aww. Maybe, as we get closer, maybe I will get to feel that way more often, being here, or being anywhere, with you and all my friends. She falls silent, Though you were concerned for her at first, you sense that now she is at peace. She wanders off, faintly smiling. You sense you have a better understanding of her now. Roster bio updated Ray. Let's take a look. Prime Vagrancy. You can state she demonstrated a thorough lack of understanding of her wrongdoing. Well, that sucks. She was a special child, left abandoned, and despite her seemingly simple nature, she possessed a strange affinity for the old ways. One day, she was taken in by the authorities, and when she revealed her fixations about the scribes, she was deemed witless. And when no one claimed responsibility for her, she was cast into exile, because the Commonwealth is run by assholes. In the downside, she has wandered aimlessly in search of more clues about the legendary heroes who so fascinate her. Poor girl. The 8 scribes, in the words of Golgolathanian, the Master General. We found each of the others in due time, by fate, not by coincidence. The wise Lusglorian stood among the trees, gazing at the stars, expecting us. The wild witch, Milite, was so enthralled by my liege's utter transformation, she stayed her sorceries. Blessed-born Triesta swooped down upon us, but to warn of imminent attack. The many-maned Jomur thus intervened, and shared with us his humor and his hunt. Even the Underking Ores himself sought out an audience with us. Thus we became the 8, and journeyed on together. The Cairn of Haub. How ironic that the shattered remnants of the Bone Titan Shax's 6 shoulders, which once stood vigilant over the archway into flagging hands, remain now as forbidding as when that horrid monster still possessed unnatural life. After little Haub dispatched the Bone Titan in a feat of ingenuity, Shax's pieces fell onto the valley floor, forming a set of standing stones which Haub marked. Further, traces of the Titan's glacial blood coagulated into perfect frozen drops which still shimmer in the darkness. 6 Shoulders seems to start reanimating when the stars above him dance a certain way. Paint the sigil then in the shining light. Alright, that's all we knew. Alright, Slug Market. Hey, you guys, where's your friend? You know, the big one with the horns, likes frowning, stuff like that. Something happened there, or what? Heard a crazy story, she just flew on out of here or something. Anyways. Alright, what is this? How much money have I got? I've got 25. Bonus damage when flinging the orb. What's per right? If the bearer's pyre is extinguished, it is instead restored by +5. Ooh. Let's get right light. Let's get the right light. Let's give Headwind the right light. Hang on, there was a new thing. Oh, scribe snuff, unlearn any masteries, and choose again. Okay. Alright, let us commence the rite. Everything is set for the rite to commence, and all is quiet amid the dusty wastes at the cairn of Haub. All there is left to do is wait for nightfall to set it. You observe Sir Gilman sliding back and forth, back and forth. You sense something is weighing on his mind. Well, we're about to fight his buddies. Of course there's something on his mind. This night is not a night at all. This knight betrayed his former commander, abandoned his brethren of the Sea Dominion. But what is knighthood, even? What is knighthood if it means having to follow such a craven as that Sir Deluge? Cease this nonsense, Gilman. Focus on the right. Focus on the right. Focus on the right. He notices you, finally. Oh, Master Reader. This knight did not see you there just now. Such was his preoccupation with the task at hand. Know that this knight stands prepared. He has no misgivings whatsoever when it comes to battling his ex-triumvirate. Please consider letting this knight participate, for he has honor to restore. Then a glimmering within the sky draws your and his attention. Alright, well, we're using Sir Gilman.
Ever persevering, aren't we? Well then, rejoice, because the cycle of the rites begins anew. Perhaps you'll liberate another soon enough. Your chosen adversaries here shall be the Pyre Hearts. Reduce their flame to ash, just as you did when last you met. Now, who exactly shall oppose them?
Alright, who to use? Gilman! Still not abandon your new friends like all your other duties and responsibilities? Sir Deluge wrestles with his mask for a time. This knight is most surprised that you have the courage even to show yourself. You speak of courage, Sir Deluge, but this knight has little else to say to the likes of you. That figures, Gilman. You are no knight at all. You are a teensy minnow swimming in a sea of minnows, many, many times your size, and with much more honor, too. Then something comes over Sir Gilman. But just as soon it fades. Sir Gilman slinks away. This is disgraceful. You Nightwings, you are stupid to have taken that one in. You are no good at the rites. And another thing. We do not fear you. This knight's companions have grown so much stronger since we dumped that worthless Sir Gilman. You sense Sir Deluge speaks the truth. The Pyre Hearts are more capable than before. Each time you face a triumvirate, they gain talismans and masteries. Ooh. Oh, that's an interesting way to increase the difficulty. Do not underestimate them.
Who shall conduct the rites?
Alright, well, we're bringing Gilman.
Sir Gilman.
Let's level Pamatha a little. We could level Tizo. I want to bring Ruki. Let's do Hedwyn and Pamatha.
Very well.
Come on then, little Pyre Hearts. To my kind, you are nothing but a snack. Come then, Nightwings. Show this knight how you defend the honor of that miserable minnow whom you harbor. On guard! So, does their AI get better too?
Now begin. Positively brutish.
Damn it!
Already does your fire's flame begin to flicker.
Damn it, launched right by it. Give me the ball. Got it.
Remember everything which you hold dear. Both triumvirates are equally as close.
Damn it.
This is the road to ruin.
Wait, how do I switch characters again? X, okay.
Quite the turn of events. So it is.
Got it.
You left yourselves wide.
Yep, I left myself wide open.
Definitely thwarted the drive.
Alright, we need to catch up. Another most inglorious defeat is imminent. This knight can feel it in his bone. His singular bone.
As per the sacred law, the Nightwings edge closer to victory. A blow against the adversary's heart.
Alright, let's give Headwind some EXP.
Your victory's at hand.
Or not.
Quite an exchange.
Damn it!
Alas. And it is.
Whew! That was close.
The Nightwings prevail again. Or you could say they managed to avoid defeat.
Yeah, that was pretty close. Forgot you had a gun and a jump. Right.
The fight is ended.
Curse you! Gilman! You were a fool to abandon us, and now you only twist the dagger in our backs. You still do not seem to understand, Sir Deluge. This knight is no longer beholden to the likes of you. This knight is bound only by the path toward enlightenment. Your words ring false. You are unfit to lead. Shut up! You know exactly what you are, Gilman. You call this knight a craven, yet your courage is a mere facade, and everybody knows, this knight shall see to it. Sir Gilman does not respond, although you sense the words of Sir Deluge got to him.
Bask now in the wisdom of the scribes.
Alright, everybody gets EXP even if or they get some EXP even if they didn't take part. Forgot about that.
Until the stars align.
You return to the wagon after you and your fellow exiles defeated the Pyre Hearts and find Volfred waiting for you there. Well done back there, my boy. You are serving your companions well. Now then, I've something that I wish to share with you if you've a moment. We have discussed the plan of which we're all a part. I have a means of measuring our progress toward the goal of it. Plan's current probability of success, 30%. I'd like for you to have a look at it. First, let's determine where the rites may take us next. Look forth. I expect you shall again see several shining stars, where once you saw but one. The scribe's stars beckon. Triesta, Goal, Lu. Several shining stars. A trick of the eye or the will of the scribes? Who can say? I, too, once gained this newfound vision, many years ago, following my first liberation rite, and I believe only we of the Nightwings have this gift. I realize that, in choosing whom the Nightwings confront in each rite, we, in turn, influence which triumvirate we face when the time comes for someone to be set free. The object I invite you to use contains further detail. You may use Volfred's Planner, the relative standings between the 9 triumvirates and the rites. Look upon it now. Using Volfred's Planner, you may assess your progress towards your ultimate goal, as well as check the current standings of your adversaries. Volfred shall keep this information up to date for the remainder of your quest. You may look over it now, or any time in the Black Wagon, or while searching the stars. Oh, the Tempers have 0 points. Rifle having prevailed more than all triumvirates combined. No, you haven't. Oh, here's the record. This favor. Okay. Oh. Tamitha's prisoners of war whose hatred for the Commonwealth runs deep. Interesting. Additional exiles required. Number of additional exiles required to join the Nightwings and fulfill a key aspect of the plan. I have to recruit more people? How do I recruit more people? Do I recruit them from beating them? Huh. Interesting. Alright, goal to face the Harpies. Triesta to face the Doges. And Lou to face the Witches. Let's face the Curs. We're gonna be butting heads against old Barker again, are we, chum? Guess it helps to know ahead of time so I can brush up on my groveling. He then shares with you what his knows of your next opponent. Nice typo. Barker Ashpaws, a volatile cur whose pack, the Dissidents, conduct the rites more so for thrill than freedom. Back on the other side, Barker never quite took to the culture of the Commonwealth, and often ran afoul of the law for various acts of boorishness or vandalism. He always promised to go straight, and in time he found a certain niche, for he was an accomplished hunter. And the people of the Commonwealth did have an appetite. Barker relished the hunt more than anything, and spent his earnings on a variety of questionable things. One particularly raucous evening, Barker was caught relieving himself on the foot of the statue of the Archjustice Androboles IV, and that was the end of his citizenship. The Grand Judge, who in 617 AS issued a decree prohibiting literacy in answer to growing unrest. Okay, I'm with this guy. Piss all over that guy's statue. In the downside, it seems he caught the notice of the Dissidents, who in turn must have observed his speed, ferocity, and fearlessness. He is now the best of them. Barker's reputation grew among the exiled Curs of the Jomur Valley region, where he is feared and unafraid of taking what he wants. Not long after they flushed me down, I was just trying to make ends meet and made a deal with him. In hindsight, let's just say it was a bad idea. He could make my life go real sour if he wants. Anyways, I better go pass out. We got a long few days ahead. You wish Ruki a restful evening in turn. It is too late to take flight, though tomorrow you can press on. Ulfred's planner. Okay. Get the sparklies away. Book of Rites. The Pyre hearts all follow in the path forged by the Underking Ores, whose many mighty deeds exceed the smallest stature that somehow contained him. His is the most spirited triumvirate, their courage unfaltering, their hearts full. They live always with vigor, and perhaps they die with it as well. They are the Underking's own kind, as at home above the sea as in it, never ceasing, ever longing, as they do, for something more. The Underking chose wisely for these qualities, and teaches that a life devoid of passion is a life devoid of life itself. That burning passion is the fuel that drives the Pyre hearts, and, in turn, us all. Well, they've certainly turned around. Sir Gilman. Sir Gilman is in a contemplative mood. He has been rather quiet, at least more than usual, ever since his confrontation with Sir Deluge. He notices you there and slides forth in a solemn manner. This night, he knows what he shall do now when all of this is over, Master Reader. We Worm Knights, we are all born and raised to prove ourselves superior to all the other billions of our kind, to lead our lives, however short, with glory. From the moment we shove past our wormling brethren in their egg sacs, to the very end, we are conditioned to excel, to prevail at all costs. This relentless pursuit of glory, of fame, of self-worth, it leads most of this knight's kind only to an early doom. Or, in the case of Sir Deluge, it leads to a life of falsehood. A life of low deceit, abusing one's fellow worm knights, shirking one's responsibility, living in constant fear. This knight cannot abide his former commander, yet pities him. There must be more to honor than to lead a life engulfed in endless conflict. Then he looks at you intently. Ooh, do I get to advise him? This knight shall ever seek that honor out when all of this is ended, Master Reader. Thus he vows to you, and he is ever grateful that your guidance led him to this new awakening. But until such time, this knight is duty-bound unto the Nightwings. This, the fulfillment of our plan and our pursuit of freedom, is to be his final quest. For what awaits him afterward is no mere quest. The honor that this knight has sought, it cannot be fully achieved through knighthood, can it? It requires something more. I trust you understand. He slithers off, his head held high, though not merely in pride. Something has changed in him. Sir Gilman gains +2 presence permanently. Ooh, okay. Interesting. Alright, before we... Nope, I'm gonna talk to Sandra. Nope, not gonna talk to her. Alright, before we continue, I'm gonna take a quick break, have a snack. I'll be back in a few minutes. Alright, I'm back. Let us continue. Let's take flight. Sisters, we are under attack. Oh, I didn't mean to hurt. Sisters, we are under attack. Hold. No, we are merely being mocked. By none other than the Nightwings. Mock us all you wish, then, wastrels of the Commonwealth. The sight of you in that utterly outlandish wagon. Excuse me, your mere existence is an affront to the act of flight. Would that my sisters and I could soar, tireless and free as once we did. But nay, we must resort to such ignoble means of travel, such as you. Now, stay away from us, lest our vengeance should extend beyond your commonwealth and become much more personal in nature. You soar near to the border of the sand folds, where your companions first found you in the downside long ago. There was nothing for you there. You wish never to see it again. What happens if I... Oh, they've landed. You can hear the angry hissing coming from Udmilde all the way from your position. You think, mayhaps, the skies belong to ye. Foolish. The skies and everything above them and below belong to the astral born. Ye shall be smitten from his skies on his awakening. Now, be gone. I'll bet you, we're going to recruit one of the witches as our final party member. Ah, a pleasure to encounter you within the skies themselves, O Nightwings. They deliberately crashed into us, Father, yet you still address them in such a cordial manner. Why do you still have your raiments on? We're not about to do a ritual. Now, Almer, I am certain that this was an honest accident, and it appears no lasting damage has been done. Please, take the helm, as I shall go and start to pick up all the fallen artifacts which shook free from the walls after the impact. Perhaps some of these old heirlooms may yet be repaired with adhesives drawn from certain flora we may find along our long and difficult quest. Making me feel bad about running into them, god damn it. Damn you, Nightwings. You stay away from us. I feel bad. Any dialogue markers? So this is where we're headed. And we're going to head more north. The unmistakable remains of Zilvius Horseheaded, which protrude from the ashen fire there below. Some have taken it to be a work of sculpture, reader. The tale of a titan felled by St. Triesta Tithys. That is more unbelievable than the thought that some daring exiles over many years carved the titan's visage out of stone. Be that as it may, the climate and the cliffs are home now to exiled harps, such as the Essence, whom you faced here when you arrived. Even they do not all know of the locale's sacred significance. Right, further north. The inverted fall of Solium roars into the sky. Somewhere beyond it lies the Commonwealth, beyond your vision and beyond your grasp. If only we could just fly home right now. Looks like this thing just can't go any higher, though. It's a long way up that fall, isn't it? We'll get there yet. Just have to keep going. Alright, Black Shore. Rookie suggests this route looks clear, so you should have time to pursue your vocations. Well, Mistral suggested a good supply of Stardust may be found along this route. Ooh. I want to get vocations as early as possible, though. So we'll go to the Black Shore. Your wagon touches down in Black Basin, where you first met Volfred and Pamitha as well. You briefly wonder at what might have happened had your paths not crossed as you consider what to do with the remains of the afternoon. New page. Black Basin, in the words of Molten Milite, the Wild Witch. The continent we called Black Basin shall one day tear itself apart, arriving upon blackened molten crags, tolerable only by the harp Triesta. We pressed onward toward a suffocating wood. This land felt to us somehow primordial. Deep in its roots and noxious crevices lay innumerable clues as to its ancient history. But we had little time to excavate, for our supplies, by then, were thin. Further, we were lost. Our best attempts at circumnavigation all had failed. It was Luce Glorian who reached out at last unto the stars, and they revealed the way. Then we at last could see the sacred Mount Elodial, there in the distance. Magma Mug not only keeps the heat in, but somehow keeps it from cooling? Huh. Explore Black Shore. You meet up with Rookie, who suggested you go ranging with him through Black Shore. Hey, chum, let's get going then. Together, you set out to explore the molten crags around the Black Wagon. You find little to speak of other than desolation typical of the downside. Oh, well, can't win 'em all. I'm about ready to head back. What do you say? You and Rookie make your way back to the wagon. Though uneventful, your search helped ease the burden weighing on you and leaves you with time to pursue your vocations. Alright, into the final two study in private ticks. +1 glory. Alright, Rookie. You find Rookie having just put back his Greentail family portrait. Rookie's well-to-do Kerr family tied to the Commonwealth's thriving mercantile industry. Oh, we get to learn his backstory now! There is something of a wistful look in his eyes. Then something comes over him, and he moves in close, lowering his voice. Look, chum, I gotta level with you about something here real quick. Truth is that I haven't been entirely upfront with you about my family situation. He hesitates a while, then, we ain't exactly quite as rich as I've been letting on. I mean, we do just fine, and we got lots of money stored away. It's just mostly locked up in savings bonds, and he seems to catch himself in the middle of another tall tale and relents before you can respond one way or another. The situation is, my mom back on the other side, she needs a little bit of help, financially and otherwise. All she's got now are my knuckle-headed uncles to keep her steady. Always told her I'd make something of myself, you know? I was just a clerk in her shop. Things started getting tough for us, so I started looking for all kinds of different work. Got in with some unseemly sorts, I guess, but the pay was real good. We took to shipping certain types of stuff down here, of all places, flushing it straight down the river, watertight. Were you a drug smuggler, Rookie? The pay was right. Mom was so proud of me. We were eating real good all the time. But you can probably guess what happened. I barely scraped by after they flushed me down here. Would have been food for a bunch of howlers had Jody not bailed me out of a tough spot one fine evening. As for my mom, she doesn't know the half of it. My uncles told her I'm away on business. Not entirely untrue, I guess, but if she knew, it'd break her poor heart. Away on business for years? So, don't know how else to put this, chum, but I want to get out of here. Get back to what I was doing back home. On the straight and narrow, though. I'd go straight this time for sure. Just don't go telling everybody that old Rookie Greentail's just a mama's boy, okay? I got a certain reputation to uphold. Hey, nothing wrong with it, man, but if you want to keep it secret, I'll help you do that. Oh, I gotta sacrifice my best character, because I'm not going to keep him away from his mom. He quickly scampers out the door. His past has been weighing heavily on him, but you sense he was sincere about wishing to lead an honest life. Roster Bio update and Rookie! He's been away on a 4-year business trip. Alright, continue my journey. Nest of Trieste. Here in the untamed heart of Black Basin, you encounter a messenger imp come to deliver news and rumors from the other side. Well, that's a funky little guy. Cute. The news this time pertains to Jodariel, whom you liberated at the fall of Solium. You learn Jodariel's past transgressions have all been forgiven. She soon was to be reinstated on the blood border on the presumption that she wanted her old status back. In fact, she was offered an especially prestigious leadership position in the First Vale, for a demon such as she could not be seen in the streets. But she refused the gesture, rather bluntly, the report suggests. Instead, she sought Volfred's agents, as well as several of her former fostered sons and daughters. And so, the ranks of the revolution grow stronger. Hell yeah! The last part of the Messenger Imp's news must have been damaged in transit, though appears to be in Jodariel's own words. All you can tell is that it says, await. You thank the Messenger Imp for relaying this information. Your companions are excited to discuss the news. Kihuhu! Tizo is fired up about the news of Jodariel's return to the Commonwealth. She is an inspiration to us all, or to this night she is at least. Do you think she still has her horns now that she's back up there? You give it to him for us, Jody. I knew you had it in you. Wonder what the rest of her message said. Yeah, you two aren't friends, I get it. There's nothing she can't handle. I miss her bad sometimes, but I'm glad she's all right. The news of Jodariel's liberation fills you and your fellow exiles with newfound resolve. +1 open the next right. Hell yeah. Page revealed. The Nest of Trieste and the Scribe's Deeds. In the words of Gol Golathanian, the Master General, I wish to be remembered not for boastfulness, Thus I refrained from detailing our exploits across the land, save to say that they were numerous. Know that only through our combined strength of arms and wit did we withstand this savage land, such were the monstrous dangers that it posed. I came to see that all the terrors which I heard at bedside in my youth were based entirely in fact. So great they were, they blotted out the sky. Such was the evil that we vanquished, that the remnants of it yet shine under the stars. And, in the end, it was the stars which guided us toward our truest calling. The nest of Trieste, loose glory in 100 mines. The ashen effigy of the nightmare titan Zilvius Horse-headed looms as dark as ever on the precipices of Black Basin, where her chaotic influence sundered the land itself until it wept with fire. The very instant that our graceful friend Trieste Tithys finally laid to rest the greater titan with the power of the holy scepter of the empire, the stars shone down upon us all with blinding light. Trieste thought that she could bear her children in the warmth there, but, alas. Now the stars revisit that locale with regularity. The fissures in the rock do pose more danger than one might invite, but a summons to the nest is to be honored. Page 73. There are a lot of pages in this book. Alright, what's in the slug market? Hey, it's you guys again? Just come on in and have a look around at all this stuff I got, okay? I got some good new stuff here pretty recently. Maybe you've seen it before, maybe not, I don't know. Burning Promise. After dousing the adversary's pyre, the bearer earns a reward up to 3 times plus 5 money. Ooh! A scoop of stardust. Ruki, Headwind, Jodariel casts her aura farther and faster. We don't need that anymore, so we're going to sell it. Burning Promise. $10? Almost 12. Okay, the scoop of stardust is... Pinch of stardust. Pinch of stardust. Alright, let's use that stardust on our new talisman. Who are we going to use? Oh, the lucrative contract is good. The right light didn't work, is the weird thing. Oh, I can't up the Burning Promise power. Alright. Quickness. Right light is when you hit 0. Ah, okay. Let's give the moon crest. 51% chance to respawn immediately. Okay. Alright, let us begin. As the sky grows dark over the nest of Trieste, a hush falls over your companions, especially Ruki. You sense something is troubling him, something to do with your next adversaries. Oh, hey, chum. Just want to let you know I'm pumped and ready to take on the dissidents this time. Sure am, all right. That Barker, he's not so scary once you get to know him like I do, you know? So don't you worry, because I sure won't be going easy on him after last time. As Ruki marches off toward the clearing, you notice his grin fade away. In the distance, you hear the dissidents begin to hoot and howl, and their music starts. Alright, well, we're using Ruki this time. You see which talismans and masteries to have prior to each rite. Ah, okay.
You exiles of the Nightwings. You are returned once more unto the nest of Trieste. The adversaries you are to confront shall be the dissidents. Extinguish now their pyre, and glory shall be yours. Now prepare yourselves.
Oi, mates! Look at what we have here. Greentail, is that you? Yeah, Barker, it's me, alright. Well, I'll be. So tell me something then, Greentail. You gonna go against me this time, or keep on being a stinking coward like before, huh? What do I do? 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 Wait. He says he wants to fight. If you can beat him. Maybe he'll leave us alone. He'll leave the Greentails alone. I can make it worth his while. Yowlson? There's a cur named Yowlson? Well, I guess there's a cur named Barker. Barker? What is it, mate? The rite's about to start. Well, I was just thinking. I know I owe you and everything, but I've got a deal for you. You like a good deal, don't you? Ha! I like a good laugh's more like it, but I'll bite, Greentail. What's your fancy here? I was thinking, if I can beat you here, we're squared away. You let me off the hook. Huh, I see. But tell me something, mate. Now why in this stinking world would I want to do a thing like that? What's in it for me when I beat you instead? Then I'll pay you double what I owe. I promise. But you have to promise too. Cur's oath. Oh, really now? Double or nothing then, is it, eh? You drive a hard bargain there, mate. But all right, it's a deal. You beat me in my pack, right here, right now, and you're debt-free as far as I'm concerned. Of course, if you don't, I'll be fleecing you for all you're worth. You, your stupid uncles, and that dear old mum of yours. See you shortly, then. Ruki then turns to you. Hey, so, this one means a lot to me, you understand there, chum? Let me go against these guys, and I'll make sure we show them up, okay?
Now let us begin.
More about the dissidents. Barker has plus 12 presence. Ooh. He also can jump a second time, cast his aura 50% farther than usual. Charson. Jump a second time, 50% farther. After plunging into the adversary's pyre, the bearer has a chance to avoid banishment 85%. Oh, alright. Okay. Well, that's going to be a pain in the ass. Okay. So, there are 6 of them. I wonder what happens if you lose in the Liberation Rite enough times. Do their teams dwindle to nothing? Okay, I assume their active players are the ones with the star emblem on them. Well, Barker's bio. Alright, we're using Rookie.
Rookie.
Who else are we using? I guess we'll use Headwind.
Edwin.
And let's get Tizo that EXP.
Tizo. It is done.
Skriok? Tizo is ready to help Rookie defeat Barker and the Dissidents. Alright then, Greentail, bring it on, or it's your dear old mum who's gonna pay.
Begin. Tis taken. Your adversary's
$5.
rests to falter. Zap.
Oh, damn it. Damn it!
All three Nightwings. Poof.
Haha! Nice cast, idiot.
Verily.
What's the matter, Greentail? Methinks you seem a little nervous under your paws out there. Just shut up already, Barker. Let's get on with it. What's that you say, huh? You think you can talk back to me like that, Greentail? Yes, he does. You heard me, Barker. Stay out of my damn way. Hell yeah, Rookie, you tell him. Or what, mate? Or I'll sink these little nervous teeth into your neck, old chum. Hell yeah! Where'd this Rookie come from?
That foolish Barker was a menace to the Commonwealth and is a blight upon the rights.
Whoops.
Rookie plunged into their pyre. Poor Edwin.
Whoops. I keep forgetting that that's what that does. Ah, shit. Oh, left your thing unguarded.
Righteous.
And I almost threw it away by going around it in circles.
There.
Oh, he guarded his... Damn it. Oh, damn it.
See what transpired there.
Got it. Alright, one more hit.
Now end the ceremony. Oh, there goes Edwin.
Oh, I jumped into the fire. Whoops. Got it.
It is done. The Nightwings prevail. Their hapless adversaries stood no chance.
Hell yeah.
Ceremony is complete.
Woohoo! We did it! We got him! If... Greentail, you... Oh, is he gonna show respect? You got us fair and square, mate. As fair and square as this stuff gets, right? So, my family, you'll leave them alone? You said you'd leave them alone. Ease off there, Greentail. A deal's a deal. Now then, me and my pack had better step it up for when we see you and your mates again. I'll be looking forward. Rookie watches him depart, then turns to you as his expression softens. Don't know what to tell you, chum, other than I really owe you one. You're welcome.
There is much to learn from this experience. Witness the rites firsthand and be inspired.
Hurrah! Cree! Inspiration on his role in the night rites. Why didn't his green bar fill up? He took part in that battle. Okay, so allies can instantly transport two from their pyre. Banished Tizo automatically casts his implode ability if he does not possess the orb. Saluting his adversaries, Tizo turns into a fast-moving howler or back. Ooh. Okay. Which capstone do I want to go for? The Moon Sign, that boosts allies' speed and stamina, or the extra damage? The extra damage would be super useful. We'll make him faster and go for the extra damage.
Until the next rite.
Having bested the dissidents almost effortlessly, you find yourself back in the wagon, recovering from the night's ordeal with your companions. Everyone seems rather exhausted. You feel it yourself. The lone minstrel pulls you aside to discuss some of the particulars of the rite's outcome. You find yourself having difficulty following. You feel weary from all the recent travels. But I digress, reader. It is no matter anyhow. Though I was just about to step outside if you would care to join me. You follow him outside. Perhaps the night air shall do you some good, and everyone is likely wondering where the stars shall take you next. The stars yet shine for you, revealing various paths forward. Seek now your destination! Oh man, I have a headache. I don't know why. Goal? Milite? Or Joe Muir? Alright, so the dissidents went down. Tempers have one favor. Dissidents went down, the accusers went up. God, the Fate has one win, those poor bastards. So we're probably facing the witches or the harpies. Maybe Dalbert and his buddies. Dalbert and his buddies. Oh, we could crush Manly. Fight Udmildy. I wonder if we get a Bog Witch party member from fighting the Bog Witches. Let's... Let's fight Udmildy. You are set to re-encounter the Withdrawn, led by Witch Udmildi. However outlandish her intentions seem, one ought beware of her. He then reveals what he has learned of her and her designs. Witch Udmildi, one of the Bog Dwellers and head of the Withdrawn, a triumvirate more interested in legends of Islak, the Astral Born, than in the rites. Her kind was known to be reclusive in the Commonwealth, yet she was brazen in her disdain for common values. She practiced the unspeakable. Somehow, one day, her research into flammable reagents grew into an obsession with Islak, despite widely held belief that he is dead or never did exist. But Udmildi held that Islak is merely dormant and shall someday be reborn with newfound hunger, which could only be sated by devouring the world. Then at last could Islak return to his glorious home, and Udmildi would go with him. When Commonwealth officials showed up to take Udmildi in for spreading unrest, she was all too eager to comply. After all, a sentence to the downside meant being that much closer to Islak's resting place, where she believed she had much work to do, where the Withdrawn stood ready to assist. In short, the 8 scribes certainly would not approve of what she aims to do, so be careful in her presence, reader, and for now, good night. You bid the lone minstrel a restful night in kind. It is too late to take flight, so you expect to press onward come daylight. Page revealed about the dissidents. Yo, Ruki, how you feeling, man? As you approach Ruki, you sense none of his usual anxious energy. I'm free. Then he rushes up to you, a return to form. I know I'm not. I'm stuck down here with all the rest of you. It's like I finally got to set aside this giant bag of rocks I've been carrying around. Know what I mean? Wanted to say thanks, chum, for giving me a hand with the little situation between myself and Barker. Yeah, you were raring to go. You were threatening him and everything. Good on you, Ruki. I don't think I would have had it in me to stand up to him unless I knew you and the others had my back. Now at least old Mama Greentail won't get any trouble from him on the other side. She's still waiting for her Ruki boy to come on home, but at least she won't be getting hassled by a bunch of nasty curs just because I struck a lousy deal. So yeah, chum, you ever need something, I owe you one. And then some. Cur's oath. He prances out of the wagon, a newfound lightness in his step. Ruki gained +2 hope permanently! Hell yeah! Book of Rights! The dissidents, in the words of Haub the Swallow, the Accursed. I, myself, Haub, did form the dissidents, under this simple tenet, those who do not belong, belong. The other scribes, some of them showed, at first, reluctance to allow an imp and one accursed to designate one of the 9 triumvirates, but Mur, the Horned One, stubborn as he was, stood by my side. In time they came to understand, for I remained, as ever, at their side, a living bit of proof of their absurdity. The dissidents are an extension of my oddity. Those who do not adhere, they are not to be discarded, underestimated, or dismissed. They are as necessary as are those against whom they rebel. Page 133, how much lore is in this game? Holy shit! Alright, before we continue, I'm going to be right back. Sorry, guys. Alright guys, I'm sorry, but I have the sudden onset of a really bad headache. So we're going to call it here. We're going to continue this on... Hell day is it? Today's Wednesday? On the 24th, which is Friday. I'm going to be doing Pyre instead of Disco Elysium. Yeah, sorry. But my head hurts really bad. So, that's going to be it for today. Thank you guys for tuning in. Thanks for hanging out. Thanks for watching. And I will see you next time.